Well, I at least have my bed, my desk, and my desk chair finally set up. Um, it's not hard to see that there's still plenty to do behind me. Um, that direction too. It's the corner of the kitchen over there, front corner. Um, just trying to take it day by day, trying to remain calm and trying to be patient. Um, trying to go out every day and take a little walk around my neighborhood to see what's there. Um, did laundry in our laundry facilities here the other day, and I miss my washer and dryer already. Um, they're sitting in storage, and there's nothing I can do about it because I got no place to hook them up here. The washing machines in our facility are $1.75 each, and small. So small that there is no place to pour bleach or fabric softener or anything. You just have to be standing there waiting for the right cycle to throw the lid up and pour your extra stuff in. Um, and but it's a very quick cycle, which I'm kind of not used to because my washer is very thorough, and it's even soak is 20 minutes. And I think it took about 20, maybe 30 minutes less. No, it wasn't even 30 minutes, maybe 20 altogether for it to wash a load of clothes. But they do seem to have come out decently clean. So I'm thankful for that. But I felt like $1.75 for such a small machine was a little expensive. The dryers are $1.25 each. And they were, of course, quite longer than the wash cycle, which I'm kind of not used to because my dryer sitting in storage was quite fast, or maybe because I didn't need to be on top of waiting for them. If my stuff dried, you know, and I didn't feel like I didn't have to rush to go get it out and make sure I'm not in anybody else's way or anything like that. I could leave my stuff sitting in there if I didn't get to it right away because I ran off to work or had other chores to do. And that's the thing about having to do laundry in a laundry room of a apartment complex or going to a laundromat is you have to be there with your stuff, which can be a bit of an inconvenience. It can, but we do have a laundromat nearby, a 24-hour laundromat. A lot of things here are 24 hours, including the Smiths down the road. It was the scariest Smiths I'd ever stepped into in my life. And I don't know how long it's been there. I just know it was not the cleanest conditions I've ever seen in a Smiths, and poorly cared for in other ways. Yeah, that was kind of a scary grocery shopping experience for me to see a grocery store in that bad of condition. So, and I can't think of anything back home in Ohio or in South Carolina or in Utah that even compared. We had one Walmart there that was kind of sketchy, and I didn't like to go into it. But this Smith was worse. This Smith was worse. And when I went to check out the laundromat, there were a couple homeless guys hanging around outside it, sitting in the shade of the awning. I can't blame them for that. And both very inebriated, but friendly. Friendly. I think the one gentleman mentioned they were veterans, um, and seeing homeless people is terrifying for me, because I have briefly been homeless before when my kids were very little. They were so little that the experience is glossed over for them, and it was like I said, it was brief. It was very, I think, less than a month. But it was still terrifying, and terrifying that it could have been a lot longer than that, because getting services in this country is difficult. If you're going through a hard time, it's hard to get help. People are worried about illegal immigrants getting welfare dollars. I'm sorry, that's next to impossible. That is like impossible. It is hard to get food stamps and Medicaid and money out of the welfare system, and it's not enough to survive on. Absolutely not enough to survive on. It's not enough to pay a month's rent. It's not enough to pay a month's rent and the utilities that come with the place. It's not enough. Period. And getting into public housing, that's something that doesn't happen with a quickness. That can take years to do. If you're lucky, if you're accepted into a public housing, maybe it happened in 6 months. But usually it can take a year or 2 years to get in, because when people finally do get in, they're not in a hurry to leave, because it's so hard to find affordable housing. And this little apartment is on the affordable side. It is still, in my personal opinion, a little expensive for a 1-bedroom place. But then I have to remind myself that, anytime you're in a bigger city, which Las Vegas turns out to be like a really big city, things are often more expensive. But it's not as expensive as someplace like Los Angeles or New York City. As far as big cities like that are concerned, it's quite reasonable in comparison. But it's still just as big and just as scary. And definitely seeing homeless people every time I go outside is terrifying. It's frightening. It's, I mean, you do see homeless people in Utah, but not like this. And there's and I don't know what all led to their homelessness, but I think there's probably a big misconception that, most homeless people are homeless due to being a bad person in some way. Either not being a hard worker, or a drug addict, or gambling problems. And I'm sure, and I know those things do make people homeless, but the way our country is set up is not to take care of its people. And so a lot of homeless people are people with mental disabilities. They're veterans that aren't getting the care that they need. And they're single mothers with children who ran into a hard time and got evicted. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm a single mom with a disabled daughter, and I loathe the idea of trying to go in and apply for assistance because it's a nightmare to do it. I mean, you got to have your state ID, your birth certificate, your social security number, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. You got to bring in your lease if you got one. I mean, it's like getting a gynecological exam, or men getting a prostate exam. It's like that. It's invasive, and it's uncomfortable, and you're made to feel bad for things that are beyond your control. You're doing the best that you can with what life is throwing at you, and it just shouldn't be that damn hard to make sure that you're going to have a roof over your head for yourself and your disabled child. It shouldn't. And I understand why my mother has hunkered down where she's at in Ohio and doesn't want to leave her house, even though it's falling down around her, because she's got things set up where even though the house is in bad disrepair and probably about to collapse any second, she feels comfortable and she feels safe, and I feel safe with her there too. I certainly really don't want her living anywhere near me, wreaking havoc on my life. So, but yeah, I'm terrified. I'm scared. I'm calling different Home Depots in the area, reminding them I'm here, reminding them I am ready, willing, and able to work. And I'm still technically a Home Depot employee, even if I'm not on anybody's schedule at a specific store right now. And it's frustrating. Some of I think I've gotten 2 callbacks. One was like, one was March 13th to tell me he didn't have any room on his freight team. Yet it was full, and the one spot that he did have, he was choosing an outside source, in other words, he was, instead of going with the experienced person that was already technically a Home Depot employee, he was hiring somebody new, a newbie of some kind. And then the other one is from this Monday, the 22nd, and she is insisting that she doesn't have any room in her store anywhere, that she is overstaffed at her store. So I'm really frustrated with my situation right now. And I know Home Depot has a tendency to drag its feet and can be very slow. But I don't think it's fair that me and my daughter are the ones suffering, especially my daughter, who is disabled, and she's got no bearing on this whatsoever. She can't do anything about any of this. She's dependent upon me. So yeah, I'm frustrated, and and call me emotional if that's what you want to call it. But I think I have a right to be frustrated. I'm ready to work. I'm a hard worker, and and maybe I'm not the fastest person when you put me on a team, but guess what? My job is done right the first time, and having a job done right the first time saves time and money in the long run. I don't think rushing to do a job fast and having it done wrong and screwed up is a plus in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna try to chill here. I'm trying to chillax. I'll watch some Star Trek Voyager reruns online, and work on one of my stories while I'm trying to relax here, and then I'll try to tackle a couple more boxes before the end of the day today, and and crossing my fingers and praying that one of these one of these Home Depots calls me soon and says, hey, I've got a spot for you. Certainly as a woman with a bachelor's degree whose concentration was mathematics, who was once an over-the-road truck driver, and is comfortable with driving larger equipment, who's, you know, there should not be a problem finding a spot for me. There really shouldn't. But I'm going to let it go there for now. Peace.